By the way,
Yeah.
some. Hold on, you guys can hear me, right?
No,
No.
we can't.
I haven't. I've watched the. Oh my god, I don't know. I never know the jingle, but it's chilly night tonight in Foxborough. Broncos Patriots AFC title game. I love it. I have 3 of those saved on my computer on my phone, man. I love it. Chilly night tonight in Foxborough. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the stream.
Episode 15, Dirty Water Dogs. Red Sox coming up here opening day. Jack Lowe to my right, Declan Hickey to my left. Jack proposed an actual schedule that works now. So we will be on this nice little schedule. You're seeing this on Wednesday the 25th. Jack, you're fucking fired up. It's about dinner time. I don't know how you're fired up. I mean, what's for dinner tonight? Dirty Water Dog?
So, yeah, I'm on this big chicken, rice, and vegetable gig. Best thing you could put in your body. Shout out IMG. Yeah, grilled chicken, rice, little...
IMG taught you to eat chicken and rice?
No. But, obviously being in your athletic prime and obviously wanting to be fit, you got to obviously have, the grilled chicken and obviously a little bit of rice, and then you got to have the veggies, and it's just outstanding.
And when's the last time you went to the gym?
4 a.m. this morning, brother.
What'd you hit today, Jack? What'd you hit at the gym today?
Back and by.
Back and by? Or what were your workouts? What'd you get? What'd you do?
What do you mean?
Like, what workouts did you do to hit back and by?
I did these.
These?
The lat pull down.
I did these. Declan, how you doing today?
I'm great. I'm great.
How are you doing, Declan? You good?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Portnoy, if you can hear us, Jack wants a deal, so we got to get the contract. 38 and counting to the moon. Listen,
Oh God.
Red Sox start their opening day on Thursday. Roster's basically made up. The only thing that they haven't done is put together, who the starters are going to be. As it stands today, though, it looks like Ranger Suarez is going to start as the 5 because he's not fully built up. Barely pitched on Team Venezuela. I think he pitched a couple times. Didn't look great. Spring training, didn't start many times. He's actually slated to start the game tomorrow to get some more pitches under his belt. And it looks like the rest of the rotation's kind of set. It's gonna look like Garrett Crochet at the 1 to start the year with Sonny Gray at the 2. And then Suarez will probably be at the 3 for the rest of the season. But for this series, we'll see either Johan Oviedo at the 3. We might see Brian Bayo. We might see Connolly Early if he makes the opening day roster. Peyton Tolley if he makes the opening day roster, just to be stretched out to start for that third game. But again, Ron Hare, Ranger, however they want to say it. I'm going to go Ranger. Only person I've heard say Ron Hare is Coley Mick. And usually he's right, but I'm going to go with Ranger for now. He's going to be, it looks like he's slated at the 5. This bench is kind of something we've talked about this lineup about 100,000 million quadrillion times. We know what the lineup's going to be. Marcelo Meyer has made the opening day roster, which he was my breakout pick for the season. So I'm really excited for him. I hope he does break out this year. I think Jarren Duran's going to have a sneaky good season. His swing looks phenomenal. The top of the lineup looks really good. But the bench is just something I'm so interested in talking about today before opening day. And we'll get into the start. We'll get into what we expect. Andrew Monasterio's taking that role of Romy Gonzalez, the lefty masher, because Romy's going to be out for quite some time. He decided to get shoulder surgery at the end of, or like near the beginning of spring training instead of at the end of the season, which is just bonkers to me how that even happened. Monasterio is going to be great in that role. He's been awesome against lefties his whole career. I think he's like an 800 OPS against lefties around there. He gets on base. He hits for power. He can play a multitude of positions: second base, third base, first base. Do not play him at short. So he can play around there. And then I like him, but then $18 million of Masataka Yoshida's gonna be on the bench.
Yeah.
And he's gonna play. in left field. Connor Wong, who had a horrific spring and a horrific season this past year as the backup catcher. You can't ask for much from your backup catcher, but he was hitting .70 at some point last year. He was hitting below 100. That's not going to be fun to watch. And then I think someone that's kind of created a logjam is Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. I mean, I don't really know what the point was at throwing $7 million at a second baseman who can hit lefties. So what's the point of platooning him with Marcelo Meyer if he can't hit lefties? He had a 550 OPS against lefties. He looks like shit. He can't field. He puts the ball into the ground. I know I've been talking for the first 5 minutes of this podcast, but Declan, your thoughts on the bench, because we kind of know what the lineup's going to be like. Platooning IKF and Marcelo Meyer, what's the point of that?
Yeah, it also doesn't really make sense when you want to like add like a Monasterio who's going to be the more like utility guy, and then you already have. Because did they sign IKF before they did the Durbin Monasterio deal?
No, it was after.
So they signed IKF after the Durbin deal.
Yeah.
Which that doesn't
No,
make any
it was
sense.
right before. It was really close though. It was right before.
But okay, so they probably like knew they were going to do both things. So it doesn't really make sense for you to then name like Monasterio to be your utility guy because I thought IKF was supposed to be the guy to kind of fill in the gaps for Romy. But now it's Monasterio, which I think Monasterio probably has better potential. He's younger. He probably has the ability to get like higher up, and that's a big part why they even traded a part of him in the Durbin trade in the first place. I just don't really understand IKF being there, like you said, it doesn't really make any sense. Obviously you're gonna have Yoshida on the bench, who credit to him, did look pretty good for Japan. He played pretty well for them. Yeah, I just don't know what this bench looks like. Like unfortunately, Christian Campbell looks like he's not going to be on the bench to start this year. I thought maybe there could have been a chance, but I still think he's trying to fix it. Even though his swing's been fixed, I think he's still trying to fix it a little more, kind of just like recalibrate.
I don't even think it's a swing with Christian. I think it's just a whole mentality thing. I mean, Alex Bregman was sent down in his first season. Bregman played in AAA his rookie year after starting in the majors. I think for Christian, it's a whole.
It's just about time.
Can you guys imagine the high Christian Campbell was on? I mean, what we were talking about at the beginning of the season. I mean, he was ripping the cover off the ball for a month. He was like rookie of the month. We were like, oh, this guy's got to be rookie of the year. He shot up through the minors, and then one injury and one adjustment by Major League pitching threw him off completely. I mean, he's got to be in the depths of probably the worst space right now mentally because of that.
Yeah.
But to kind of to talk, I had a question. That question was more teed up for Declan because it was about the roster. It was about kind of where that bench is. We'll talk about Thursday's game against Tito's Reds. But Jack, I need to either inform you or hear your thoughts and opinion on yesterday night. I'm scrolling on Twitter and I see a tweet about Nesson skimping out on and not doing away broadcast, for spring training because, they're saving money, and FSG, all they do is they want to save money, and John Henry, and then Dan Shaughnessy of the Globe writes back to that tweet and says, yeah, the cheap FSG and they don't want to spend money. They don't want to do away games. They carry other teams' broadcasts for away games. John Henry, for the first time since 2021, tweeted back at Dan Shaughnessy on his public Twitter account and responded with one word, and I think Jack's looking it up right now. He responded with one word to Dan Shaughnessy. And I think Jack needs to take a look at it, but it's been a long time. And Henry decided to take his time and say a little something. And Jack, he's not the biggest John Henry guy in the world, obviously. Jack, I don't know if you're finding it. I might have to pull it up on the screen for you here. Would you like for me to do that for you? Oh, Jack, you're muted. Did you mute yourself?
Check. I got it.
Did you find it?
I got the. I somehow I was muted. I didn't find the tweet. No.
So Dan Shaughnessy tweeted, "Greedy, cheap Nesson. Red Sox fans deserve better." And then he actually quote tweeted himself again and said, "I'm told this industry practice across the MLB these days. This is an industry practice to not cover every spring training game. Every team does it." And then Dan Shaughnessy said, "Fair is fair. In this instance, Nesson and John Henry is being neither greedy nor cheap. My bad." John Henry responded with the word historic, and he hasn't tweeted anything since 2021. And I just thought that was some. I'm not gonna lie, like seeing that, I was laughing in my bed because I'm like, I wonder what Jack would say about this. Is this a funny thing for John Henry to do when they're talking about how cheap he's being?
It is. It's just more artillery for everybody else to have. I mean, like, look, I was just Googling. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know, John Henry is worth $5.7 billion according to Forbes magazine. What the hell are you saving money for? For what reason are you saving money? You don't have kids, by the way. It's just you and your wife. What the hell are you saving money for? You just sold the damn Buffalo Sabres for how much? I mean, my Lord. This is exactly my point. I just don't, I don't get, oh my God. You never see those like cartoons where it's like the steam is out of the ears of characters when they're pissed off? That's me right now.
Jack,
I can't even.
Are you being rage baited by John Henry's Twitter?
No, I'm just so
It sounds like he's rage baiting you.
Let me tell you something.
It sounds like John Henry's discovered rage bait.
Let me tell you something. When I am watching, because I'm a golfer, right? As you guys know, when I'm watching the indoor golf league that is taking place in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, called TGL, that, by the way, Boston has a team owned by FSG. By the way, it's called Boston Common Golf, is playing down there in Palm Beach Gardens. And they zoom into the crowd and look who's sitting there. John Henry. I'm like, your team is first of all, this is an indoor golf league. That's like what, third year starting up, maybe? Second, third? What the hell are you doing in Palm Beach, my friend? You should be in Fort Myers monitoring the team. I don't know what. You can't send an associate? You got to be there? You probably don't know shit about golf. I Go ahead.
Thank you. I will say there is loads of blame to go around this organization. And I do blame John Henry a lot for limiting Craig Breslow in regards to the budget, because they never operated like that. They never operated with a budget back in the day, meaning, the Theo Epstein days and stuff like that. But I will say a lot of the flack that he gets, it never seems to reach some of the bullshit that Craig Breslow has done in the past when it's come to his not making deals, non-deals, not being great on the phones with other GMs. Like, that's when you have a problem. And we're gonna get into this discussion. I actually had a great discussion with a superior at WEEI about this general manager spot after this season. But before we do that, we got game 1 coming up on Thursday against Tito's Cincinnati Reds. I'm a big Terry Francona guy. Will forever be a big Terry Francona guy. I mean, an absolute legend in this city of Boston, and just the most likable manager probably ever. We face his team with Ellie De La Cruz. They don't have Hunter Green starting on opening day. They got Andrew Abbott, who I think is a great lefty. And you're not gonna see the starting opening day lineup on game 1 because you're not gonna see Marcelo Meyer playing game 1. You're not gonna see anybody that really can hit against those. I'm gonna say maybe Settle's the only one that'll be out on that game. We might see him game 3 because we got 2 lefties back to back. Garrett Crochet's on the bump for the Red Sox. I'm fully expecting what Garrett Crochet is and what he'll forever be in a Red Sox uniform for the duration of his extension. That actually was an incredibly great deal. You look at some of the other pitchers that have gotten deals now for their extension period, and Crochet is making a little bit less than he should be. By that, I mean like $1 million less. But less is less. And I think he's going to be extremely good this season. I think he's going to kind of finally finish it out and win a Cy Young this year for the American League. He was second place to Tarek Skubal, kind of fell off and towards the end of the season, got burnt out. but it's okay. He still carried that 2.8 ERA towards the end. He had like a 1.7 or something ridiculous towards the end of the season. So I have high expectations for him. I do think Willie Abreu is going to start hot. I think he's going to have the first homer of the season for the Red Sox. And I'll kind of leave it at that. Declan, your opening day thoughts.
Yeah, obviously, talking about the thing with like, you're not gonna really like see like Marcelo, which is a little like unfortunate to see at the start, but he'll eventually get to that spot. Obviously, you don't want to put him against a lefty the first game of the season. Maybe it'll change towards the middle half of the season. Obviously, like William Abreu, like riding the high of that WBC, which if anyone didn't watch those especially the final like and the semifinals, those games are some of the most perfect baseball you've ever seen, except for the ending of the Dominican game. But which is another controversy. But yeah, like I think he'll be riding hot after this WBC. I think like Wilson Contreras definitely going to be one of the more interesting kind of like kind of one of the more underrated signings I'd say of the off season just in general. I think he's going to be riding a high of that WBC just from like a confidence perspective. You know, obviously you're gonna have Durbin finally get to see what he can really do. See if he can be kind of a little that like kind of contact hitter. See what he can get. I don't really know how much pop he really has, but we'll see. I think this opening day like rotation is gonna do pretty well. I think you know most of the rotation is gonna do well. There are some question marks on the bullpen. There are like a few bright spots. Like Chapman and Weitzer, but the rest of them it's a little unpredictable. But I think they'll fare fairly well. This Reds team they are a difficult team to play. They don't give like anything away. They're very difficult to put away. We saw that last year when we lost that series to them. I think in September. So yeah, definitely a hard team. I still think they'll win the series, but Terry Francona is not going to pull any punches.
I'm excited. You talk about the pen. Some of the players kind of you go over your head because you forget. It's been such a long
Yeah,
time. But I think your your full stamp and approval guys of Aroldis Chapman, your setup and Garrett Whitlock,
Whitlock, I forgot.
Justin Slayton and Greg Weissert. Those
Greg
are
Weissert.
your four locks. Like what they're
Yeah,
gonna give you.
it's just kind of like the middle inning relief. I don't really
That's gonna
know.
be a little weird. Like Ryan Watson had a horrific spring. He made the opening day
Like,
roster.
will there be a potential thing? Maybe they move Carter Crawford to the pen, and
I don't think
like,
he's ready. I don't think he's ready to go.
I just know that that's an idea that's been like floated
I'm
around,
sure it will. I think
or like Sandoval, which I don't know how healthy
they
he
might
is
open
right.
the season with Early in the bullpen as a long relief option, or they might open the
Yeah,
season with Peyton Tolley as a long relief option.
I
But
feel like Peyton was going to be more in the
I will say for this Reds lineup, I want to I want to I'm a Red Sox fan, and you always want to pick and choose the guys you like on other teams. I mean, there's nobody I like on the New York Yankees. You can't push that by me. But Sal Stewart on the Reds, third baseman, that is somebody that I think is going to pop off the chart this season. I think he's
yeah.
going to be incredible. And his 43 ABs, he had a 1,000 OPS. He was incredible. He hits the cover off the ball. He's like a fucking mammoth. Like, he is really fun to watch. I think he's going to be a breakout for the Reds this year. I think the Reds are going to be in the playoffs again. I do.
Yeah, I could
I
definitely
think
see that.
if they can have at least three guys in the rotation hold it together, I think they're going to be in the playoffs. They're going to be a fun team to watch.
Yeah,
A team led by
especially with them bringing back like Eugenio,
yeah.
which is a kind of a spot they didn't really have. He's kind of like a power
Yeah,
bat.
Gino, I think batting Gino behind Sal Stewart is going to be really fun to watch, I think. And it's not going to be fun to watch when we're playing them, but it's going to be really fun to watch outside of playing them.
And they signed Nathaniel Lowe, which I didn't even know that.
Whatever. Jack, I wanted to pitch this question to you because when we talk baseball here, it's kind of me and Declan talking shop, talking ball, and then I kind of pitch questions to you, more hypotheticals, theoreticals, things like that. I had this conversation the other day about what the expectation for this season is, and Alex Cora was just on the air today on Nesson with TC and Lou Merlone, just talking about kind of what his expectations are for the season. And again, it's win the division. and it's be there and win in October. They've had the same expectations since last year. Um, if this season does go south, and a lot of the times the blame ends up on the GM. The GM, it's not even the GM. They don't have that. They have the chief baseball operations, whatever, chief baseball operations officer, whatever it's called. Craig Breslow. It always falls on the GM every year. Every time, there's a bad spell in a year, or like they don't look good, the front office ends up firing the GM and they kind of go find another one. I had a conversation about how interesting it would be if Alex Cora runs the front office as a general manager. And there's a chief above him. He's technically the chief, and there's a GM below him, and he's also managing. It's been done before. I wanted to float that idea to you, and I wanted to know if that'd be an interesting thing, because if things do go south this year, you don't want to lose Alex Cora. I've heard the conversation of, oh, you want to get him out of there, he's the manager, things got to change, whatever. I would much rather, if things go south, and you would hope they don't, see if that guy can run the front office.
Yeah, I mean, I've never heard that proposition before, to be honest. I don't hate it. I think it's pretty obvious what happened when you gave Alex Cora the talent needed to win a title in 2018. You saw what happened, you saw what he did, and you saw what this team was capable of doing. We won 108 wins. So I don't think any part of me thinks that. Look, he's a manager in the MLB, right? He obviously thinks he can win with whatever. But at the end of the day, you can't tell me with a straight face that he thinks this team is enough. And I think you put him in that role and you say, you know what, look, we're gonna make you the, what is it, chief baseball, whatever.
Yeah, he'd be like the GM. He'd be the chief baseball ops guy. There'd be a GM below him who's kind of checking him. If he's managing, that guy's helping him out, up and down logistics, up through AAA, AA, whatever that has. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, I think you got a Brad Stevens type thing in the MLB. And for that reason is because he gets along with all the players. He's also, from Puerto Rico, so he can bring in obviously people from everywhere. And he's just well liked, obviously, other than being the assistant, general manager to the Astros in 2000, whatever year that was, I forget now, with the cheating scandal. But I mean, other than that, like, he's just like a well-liked guy. Like, people like playing for him. And people, like, if you have Alex Cora selling the Red Sox name and organization to you, it's almost a no-brainer that people are going to sign here. I do want to say one thing quickly. I know I've been hard on the Red Sox, but after the WBC, it's kind of hit me. Like, for as much as I shit on this team, it's pretty impressive for that team to have their players perform the best in the WBC. And, like, it was cool to see. Willier obviously played great. Duran played well. I mean, Anthony hit a bomb. Like, look, Anthony, we all know how good Roman was last year. He's just gonna get better and better, right? And he's not one of these young kids who says, "Oh, I just made $100 million. I'm not gonna care anymore," right? I don't need to do anything for the rest of my. No, he cares about baseball and he wants to win, and that's a big thing. And you didn't just give $100 million plus to a 21-year-old kid who just goes out and parties, right? I mean, he's obviously he obviously works for it. He's a hitter. He can produce, and the guys like him. And it's just to have that, and obviously to come off WBC with Willier and Duran, it's just cool to see. It's just, hopefully the Sox can put something together and be kind of good this year, because again, baseball is better when the Red Sox are good. But yeah, coming off the WBC with Red Sox guys playing the way they did, it was cool to see.
Yeah, look through and through the WBC. I mean, Garrett Whitlock, Team USA, kind of fucked them up. Kind of fucked them.
Yeah, sorry. You can go. My fault.
Kind of fucked them up a little bit now for the earlier in the season. It looks like he's going to be slowed in because Mark DeRosa is not a manager. which I don't even want to get into that.
Yeah, that's a whole nother.
When it comes to WBC, though, I think the U.S. next time around is going to have to stop doing that. Like, we're the U.S., we're better than everyone. Even if we lose, we know we're
Well, you're
better.
not.
We know, no, but it's like their attitude is like that. Like, even if
Yeah.
we lose, we know we're better than everyone. It's like the only guy on that roster that actually gave a shit was Roman Anthony.
Yeah.
I mean, Aaron Judge continues to fucking shit his pants in huge moments.
In crunch time.
He continues to shit his pants. And if he's forever known like that, you can have a great regular season all you want. But when you go 2 for 27 and watch strikes past the plate in the WBC, it's not going to do you any better. Plus, the guy's not getting any younger. He's 34 years old. Believe it or not.
Who?
Aaron Judge.
Is he?
Yeah.
That's crazy to think
Believe
about.
it or not, he's 34
I thought damn
fucking
near he was still in his 20s.
years old. So either his career trajectory will just be what a Yankee he was, or Giancarlo Stanton Part 2. I mean, there's nothing else I see in Aaron Judge.
Yeah.
I do want to say one thing. Like, for as great as Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber and Judge are, like, we obviously Bregman was on the Red Sox last season. We saw how he elevated the young guys. Bryce, Aaron, and Schwarber, they didn't do shit to elevate the younger guys. Like, they're just not. I just don't think they're leaders. Like, they don't.
No.
I mean, you see. I mean, oh my gosh, I forget their names. By the way, it's a great crew. It's John Smoltz and another guy who does the commentary. Great crew. They show the opposing team dugouts against the USA, and they're yelling at each other. They're getting each other pumped up. And then they go look over to the U.S. dugout, and they're just packing a lip full and spitting and having their hats up. I'm like, what are we doing?
I think it goes back to the manager, though, too.
Hand up, I will say Kyle Schwarber is a great leader in Philadelphia.
So my apologies.
No, but Team USA wise, there was nothing there. But that's the whole. I think that whole thing of like, we don't even have to win. We know we're the best. Like that.
I think it's also the thing with their manager. The manager did not know they had to win another game, and they almost ended up getting kicked out of the WBC because their manager, who's not even a real manager, didn't do it.
I mean, I don't know how you make Mark DeRosa the manager.
They've had like managers who are MLB managers be the thing before. The last, before, wasn't Dusty Baker the? I swear, Dusty Baker was the old.
Yeah, because Dusty Baker's was a great manager.
Dusty Baker was the old coach of Team USA in 2017 when they won.
So again, this further pushes the motive that if you're an anchor on a show, you shouldn't be placed in a position of power.
Yeah.
Subtle, slight Department of War. Anyways.
Yeah.
Moving on. The Boston Celtics had a horrific fucking weekend. I think it was kind of fucking sad to watch Tatum against Minnesota just like miss his shots. Jalen was playing a little lackadaisical. Had a bunch of turnovers. I mean, it wasn't a fun watch against Minnesota. That dude Bones, I as much as like he was annoying on Minnesota, I like his play style. I think he plays really fast, and I think the Timberwolves just outplayed the Celtics without Ant Edwards because of the speed that they were playing at. And Tatum just looked like he was just like, I don't even know. He was just kind of like looking around. Like, it was just, Jalen was like dribbling into contact and losing the ball. And it's like, what the fuck are we doing? There was 5 possessions, I was counting, where the Timberwolves would score. Jalen would bring it up. He'd pass it to Tatum. Tatum would pass it back to Jalen. And then Jalen would just chuck some bullshit. And then they'd go back on defense. They get a stop. Go back on offense. Brown gives it to Tatum. Tatum dribbles for 7 seconds at the top of the key. A screen comes. They evade the screen. He shoots some bullshit. It's off the iron. Like, there was no team offense against the Timberwolves. Zero. Yeah. They were not passing the ball at all. That's the shit that kind of irks me. When things are low, you're the superstars. I get that. But fuck, if you're missing, pass the ball out, Jack.
I was going to say, like, I know you guys probably couldn't give 2 shits about what I'm about to say. But with March Madness going on, like, you got to give these kids credit. They move the ball and they move the ball damn well. And it's kind of fun to watch. Like, I know you have all these guys. Like, I mean, this is one of the best draft classes, I mean, college and the NBA has seen in years. But these star players get their other guys involved. And it's like, you kind of think to yourself, well, why, like Chuck just said, why can't you get your other guys involved if you're Jason or Jalen? So it's just, I mean, it's a whole different game. I understand that, but move the ball. There's literally no bad outcome that can happen if you move the basketball.
Yeah. Obviously, like the points you said are like valid about them for that game, like not moving the ball well. But I don't think it's like an accurate representation of how they've been together the past game. Obviously, I don't want to make it excuse as one game, but to be fair to them, they played fairly well in numerous amount of games. Just in the games they played with, they have not just haven't played the Timberwolves well this year. There's just something about the Timberwolves for this season why they can't even beat them. Even before Tatum came back, they weren't able to, you know. So obviously that was not a great game. I think the game on Wednesday will be a better test of their judgment because because they're playing the Thunder this Wednesday.
Yeah,
They
the
almost
Thunder,
beat
yep.
them 2 weeks ago without Tatum. They lost by 2 points to a free throw, of course. But you know, like like you said, not a great game. But I think there are games where they've been better at getting people involved.
Yep.
They just didn't do that well against the Timberwolves, which sucks to see because you want to see them try to be in a close game with a team that doesn't even have their best player playing. But to the credit of them, they have looked very well. Other than that game last night, they've looked very well this season. With the news of Cade Cunningham, there's a high chance they could be getting that one seed now because unfortunately Cade with the collapsed lung, which really sucks for him. But I think Jalen and Jason, Jason's been trying to get back to his notion, but it's kind of been like a slow process. But I think he'll eventually get there towards the end of the season into the playoffs.
Well, less than 20 games, and I think we don't have to panic now about Jason Tatum,
Yeah.
about him, having a night like this. But if we're 5 games away from the playoffs and we're still seeing the same play, I'm gonna
Yeah.
start to panic.
Yeah, I get it. But he doesn't necessarily have to be that the guy who's averaging like dropping 40 points
Yeah,
a
but
night.
at the same time, you need
I
him.
get what you're saying
You
though. The
need him.
efficiency has to be better.
You need to be
Well,
better. You need to be
yeah,
better.
it's mostly been about as efficient because he's had one game where he's been efficient. The rest of it, there's only been one game where I think he shot over 50%. That's really the only cause of concern there is. He just needs to be more consistent about his shooting. But it's not like he doesn't look like he's grimacing, doesn't look like he's pulling any punches. It just looks like how you would be when you normally start a season. You know what I mean? It looks like how he usually looks when it's like October.
I
You know?
I I think Chuck makes a good point. Like, you got to be better. It's true because I think right now Tatum kind of thinks like, you know, he's still that scorer that he was before he went down with the Achilles, which obviously right now he's not. But I want him to start impacting the game in different facets. Like, I want him to
I think
to
he has though. He definitely
That
has.
that
I know
yeah.
I know he has. I'm not saying he hasn't, but I guess I should rephrase that. I want to see him do it more because if you're
Okay.
that great, your presence should make the other your opponent be like, all right, we already know Tatum's not going to
Well,
take 40 shots, but he's
Yeah.
going to have
I
15 assists.
I will say hand up. You saw many times against the Timberwolves they were doubling Tatum, and then he get an assist in the corner three from Pritchard or Shireman or whatever. It's like that's great, and he got a bunch of boards. Defensive rebounds are important. You saw who's Timberwolves coach Mike Chris. The fuck is his name?
Chris
Oh,
Finch.
Yeah,
Chris
Chris
Finch called out Julius Randle. He
Yeah.
called him out. He said 3 defensive rebounds is it just ain't enough, right? And Tatum was doing that all night. Like, I think he's been affecting the game well outside of just scoring. But when you have a night like that where you're just playing hot potato with Jalen Brown and you're just these guys are just motioning around you, and I think Jordan Walsh deserves to play more. I
Yeah.
think we haven't seen him at all, and he was defensively incredible when Tatum was gone, and offensively was pretty solid. But like, we need to see him
Well,
rotate in more. I think,
he had been dealing with the illness, to be fair. That's why
yeah,
that's
I
kept him out.
think Ugo's been great. I think Baylor's been great. I just you don't have Vucevic. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
where this team is going to balance out. They don't even know what their rotations are like yet. Like they've seen a few of them, but they're still waiting. So
Yeah.
we kind of really can't panic about it because we have to wait a little bit longer to see what the rotations are, Jack.
And I think it's weird because we're so used to like the year we won it back in 24, we had Porzingis and Horford. Like both of those centers could shoot for us. Like it's different going from that to now going from Vucevic who can shoot to Keita who doesn't. I mean, someone could be in Newton guarding him and Keita could be at the top of the key or the corner and he'd drive to the hoop, right? Like that's not a bad thing. It's just a different style of basketball. It's not the Missoula ball that we know that, I mean, Porzingis and Horford were pulling up from however far it was in 24.
Well, I don't think Missoula ball is necessarily just like having people who can be like stretch bigs. Like I don't necessarily think that's his
Fair.
way of working. I think he just
It's just a different scheme.
yes, but other than that game, I think they've looked great. With their schemes. Like other than that game, I think they've looked pretty good. Like they went toe to toe with that Thunder team. Like they weren't pulling anything. Like they played a great overall game. They just couldn't get it done, and those games just happen. But like they've gone pretty toe to toe like in these games. And obviously, I get there is cause for concern with the injuries. You want to see better rotations. You want to see your kind of like defensive wing guys like Hugo and Jordan play the majority, and you want to put them on teams' best players so they can play like defense on them. So I get your concerns, but I trust in Joe Mazzulla to figure out the concerns and figure out these problems because he's done it before and he knows how to with his experience.
I'm done with like I've heard so many fucking radio hosts talk about Ime being a better coach than Joe, and it's just like I'm done hearing that take.
True.
It is a stupid take. I mean, the guy. First of all, Ime's still being a weirdo in Houston.
Yeah,
he's still being this freaky fucking old uncle on the floor. Like he's saying weird shit. Like there was like a lip reading of him being like, "Go get that bitch," talking about a player. Like, "Go get that little bitch." Like I don't know how I feel about that from a head coaching standpoint.
Also, as players, not seeming to have control on the court,
right? But I'm just saying, like, I'm tired of hearing that. I know, Jack, you were a little bit hesitant on Joe Mazzulla in the past. You've seen what he's done. His winning percentage is above 700. Like
he's proved me wrong. I can't say nothing.
I mean, once you're above 700 clip, what the fuck can you say about the guy?
I know they're all-time numbers.
Yeah, I mean that's ridiculous. So
and I don't want to. So before you continue, I don't want to hear, "Oh, it's Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown." It doesn't matter if you have a good team and you're winning. You're a damn good coach.
That's right. I appreciate that. I appreciate that we agree on that because you look at the front office. You have Brad Stevens running the fucking show, and you got Joe Mazzulla, running the floor. I mean, Brad Stevens might be the best GM in all of sports. Like I mean,
phenomenal, as Stephen A would say, it's phenomenal.
It's phenomenal, right? I mean, like I think Wednesday is a great moment for all of us to shut the fuck up and for either Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown to have a big game and to spread the ball out. And by big game, I don't mean a 40-point game. If they want to do that, go ahead. But I'm saying big game by assist me, big game by, Jaylen Brown getting their rack. Hey! Like, I don't care what it is, right? Like, that's what Wednesday is a really important game for the identity of this team, Jack.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I've personally loved that this year with obviously Tatum being out and Brown being the focal point of the offense, he's kind of realized like, holy shit, I can score at will when I drive. And he's just like, he's a menace when he goes to the paint. I mean, he can dunk on anyone. He can finish. The only thing is he just doesn't get the best player in the world treatment, which by the way is kind of ridiculous because he should be getting just as many free throws as three name guy on the Thunder.
Did you see right after his ejection how his free throws got better? Like he got ejected because he wasn't getting the whistle. He finally gets the whistle, and now he's more confident. Every time Jaylen would shoot a free throw, I'd leave the room because I'm like, he's going to miss this free throw.
The Celtics are are, I think, bottom 5 in free throws attempted. They have, like, the 5 el
I just
bottom 5 at least.
I
They
just
don't
don't
really
know,
get the whistle.
I don't get it. Like I first of all, I love how Jalen Brown is like he's not like a dick, but he's like a serious guy and he's like a leader. I mean, like we saw it in I think it was in Oklahoma City. He's like, that's not basketball. Like he'll let you hear it. Like he's
Yeah,
not there to play games. He's like, oh, I don't flop. I'm an athlete. I go to the hoop. Like I'm not like these other guys. Like that's what you want in a leader. And I
E-
think that's what's really driving this team to want to be good.
Every time I look back at my takes, there's so many that I hate, but the worst one I had was saying that Jalen wasn't a good leader. And
I
me and Jack were like on this train of like Josh Minot, what the fuck? And Ugo just got drafted and he's a random and Jordan Walsh is starting and
I
Baylor
mean, I thought we were
Shire.
going to be the 15, 16
I mean,
Sixers.
I was like playing. You guys heard me. I was like either playing or like fifth seed. Declan had this vibe, had a feeling. He knew what he saw. He knew what he liked, and I have to give him props for that because he knew from the jump. I'm telling you right now. I know Jalen didn't hear our noise, but man, has he heard the noise in Boston the last 4 years, 5 years of, well, you're sitting in the shadow of Jason Tatum. Of course, you're going to be able to score at will. And of course, you're going to be. Well, I think he was tired of it. And as much as people want to do this thing where it's pulling them apart, I don't think it is. I don't
yeah,
think. And you rarely see duos work out in the NBA. You rarely see it.
yeah,
The Brooklyn Nets tried it. They brought all those guys together. It didn't work out. It takes two people that want to win. Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown, they want to win. They don't care
yeah.
about
They don't
accolades.
care who's in the ball more.
Yeah.
They don't care who's really
I
being
will say though,
anything.
Jalen Brown should be in serious consideration for the MVP. He should.
Yeah.
And I think
I agree.
But I just don't think. I just think the only way he would win it over SGA or Jokic is if the injuries.
yeah.
That's the only thing because I just don't. Because I think Jalen Brown has played an amazing season, but SGA and Jokic have been just better.
Well, let me ask you a question, Declan.
Yeah.
Who, and I'm not asking you, like I'm asking you to answer this question because people know the answer. Who is
Yeah.
the second best player on the Thunder?
Other than SGA, you're saying?
Yes.
J-Dub?
Like who's their second option?
I'd say more Chet just because J-Dub hasn't really had a consistent season.
Perfect. If Chet was out for the year,
Yeah.
would OKC be as good as they are now?
I still think so.
I think
I still
Okay.
think so.
Okay.
I
I mean,
still
look,
think-
I was gonna, I'm not saying Shea has
I
all
still
this help.
think so just because their team is so deep.
I will say Shea has all
Yeah.
the help. That team is
Yes.
deep. That
Yes.
team can play their whole fucking bench if they wanted and win
Yeah.
games.
Jason
Yeah.
Wallace, Demon, AJ Mitchell.
That's a
Ooh.
I mean,
I mean,
AJ
you're right.
Mitchell
When
was
we
one
have
of the most
Isaiah
under-
Hartenstein shooting threes now, it's
AJ
like,
Mitchell was one of the most. AJ Mitchell was one of the most underrated players this season. He's come up. Huge
I
for
mean,
them.
people will
he
probably.
does have help.
The
He does.
funniest thing about this, before we get this last 20 to the Patriots draft, the funniest thing about this is that in the beginning of the season, people were like trashing the Celtics. It doesn't matter what Jalen does, like whatever. I was trashing the Celtics, whatever. People will legitimately use the fact that our bench is as good as it is as an indicator that the same conversation Jack just had about SGA, like the help. Well, how much help does Jalen need or Jason need? Look at his bench. Like the Celtics bench and the Thunder bench nowhere as close as good. I mean, it's insanity. Again,
Yeah.
the East though, as we've stated before, to wrap this up, it's wide open. And I think the Celtics have
Especially with the unfortunate news with Kate.
yes,
Cade.
and I love Cade Cunningham and Jack.
prayers up to kid.
Jack loves Cade Cunningham. I think he deserves this run that Detroit has been on the entire season. He has literally sat through some of the worst fucking teams, seasons, coaches, everything, and he's just been the best player on the team. He never gave up, and collapsed long. It sucks. Obviously prayers up to him, and I'm sure he's fine. Just got to get through that. But the Celtics have a clear path to the NBA Finals, and if you're really gonna look at me and tell me that I should be scared of the New York Knicks, I will
the
laugh.
Blue Caps.
I will laugh you all the way to the bank. I mean, that is the funniest fucking thing you can tell me. That team, I don't care. I think Jalen Brunson brought it up. We knocked them out last year. Jalen Brunson, I fucking hate watching you play basketball. First of all, And second of all, good luck facing Jaylen Brown at the magnitude he's playing. Good luck facing Jason Tatum in the playoff magnitude that he'll play at, Jack.
Yeah.
And again, like, am I too far or can you hear me fine?
We can hear you. You're good.
Okay. Yeah. I hate the whole thing about quickly that the Knicks beat us. It's like, oh, now the Knicks are better than the Celtics. No, and I said this about the March Madness. If you lose a game, it doesn't mean the team is better than you. It means they played better than you that game, or in this case, that series. The Knicks played they were the better team in the series. They're not a better team. They just played better in that series, and they won.
One game the Knicks really put up on us is the Magnet Ball game where Josh Hart was hitting everything. I mean, everything.
Yeah.
And that was just like, and we were at Madison Square Garden, and I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, this never happens.
And
they showed Timothy Shalamalama. Like,
and
come
then
on,
they,
you don't know 4 Knick players,
and they
man.
totally gassed up Bridges like the whole time. Even though he, bro. By the way, that was the only good play he made, and it only happened because Jaylen Brown. I don't know who did the pass. No, but Jason Tatum got a terrible ball past him, and he just couldn't do anything with the ball. And it happened like twice, and they gassed up Mikal Bridges because he had that one game.
Mikal Bridges from the
25
second
points, and after that 25-point game, for the rest of the playoffs, he didn't do jack shit.
From the second Mikal Bridges got traded, I was like, what kind of juice do you see in this guy? He's as thin as a fucking toothpick, right? His jump shot's disgusting. He can't play inside, right? Like, I don't know. Like, his post game's all right, I guess, but like, I don't like watching him play. We need to move on.
Yeah.
I'm getting fucking angry, Jack, about Mikal fucking Bridges.
Yeah.
Hey, he's like the largest streak of most games played. Got to give him credit for that.
All right, that's some Iron Man shit. I'll give him credit for that.
That's tough to do. Patriots
picking at number 31. AJ Brown rumor has been fucking circulating for so long. Now Adam Schefter shot it down, was like June 1st, timeout.
Okay. I'm scared.
I don't know if you two saw this, but I was mesmerized this weekend.
What happened?
Did you guys see, with his pit vipers on, Tom Brady? That pass he threw to Stephon Diggs in the corner of the end. I don't give a damn if it's flag football. Are you shitting me? Are you shitting me? That was a dot. And I know Declan's looking over to the corner of his eyes.
Timeout.
Like,
Timeout. Timeout.
I don't give
timeout.
Damn.
I called timeout. That's Jack. That's a fucking technical foul on Jack. For Jack's first technical of 2026. Jack jumps fucking in there on me introducing a topic about the New England Patriots and brings up Tom Brady playing flag football against Logan Paul's Maverick squad and speed. And you're telling me I need to sit here and enjoy what I'm watching? 48-year-old Tom Brady was in an ice bath after that game. I'm sure his muscles and bones were frisky. He still looked good. I do agree. But technical foul to Jack. Because I was in the middle of talking about the New England Patriots draft.
It was cool to see. Anyways, carry the hell on.
It's fucking speed.
Shout out Perkins. Carry the hell on.
Fuck Kendrick Perkins.
The worst.
Jesus.
He's the worst.
Yep. Patriots 31. That's where they're picking. Today was pro. I keep saying pro day. Boston College. Bill O'Brien, Mike Vrabel, chopping it up. I think it was really fun to see that.
How does he still have a job, by the way?
I think I like Bill O'Brien. I like him a lot.
Sup, Trevor?
What's up? That was a top 5 podcast moment when we played 100%. When we played Sup, Trevor. I mean, he was built.
I'm sick of it. Sup, Trevor.
I mean, that was fucking legendary. I mean, that's why I love Bill O'Brien, because he'll tell it to you straight. Do I think he'll lose his job if they have another losing season this year? Yes, I think he will.
Yeah, they have talent that has to do better than that.
100%.
You don't need to raise your hand, Karen. I know where you're at.
Speaking of Mike Vrabel, you could tell he was at BC Pro Day because he's wearing the same fucking vest he's worn all season at BC Pro Day.
Has he ever like? I don't think he washes that vest.
I don't
Did
think
he
he
sleep with that thing
He's
on?
not
I
sleep
think,
with
he,
it.
I think he showers with it. I think he does everything.
So
with that.
two guys kind of out of there. You're looking at their tackle. I forgot his name, and Luis Bond, who's a receiver that I don't know. They're kind of interested in. Nothing.
He's a wide receiver.
Nothing spectacular in BC. I just thought it'd be a nice way to segue this in. All the coaches from what does Tennessee play in the AFC South? All those coaches were together. Doug Marrone, it was Vrabel and Bill O'Brien. You know, Texans, Jaguars, Titans, kind of all chopping it up from back in the day. I will say the Patriots. There's a lot of directions they can go. The draft is kind of coming up a little bit on us in a month or so. And obviously WMLN FM 91.5's Draftathon will be live. That's full live coverage. Jack will be there. Declan will be there. It will be a fun day, fun night covering the first round. We might be covering all 3 days at the station, which should be interesting to see how that goes this year at the sports department. So yeah, it should be interesting. Jack, I want to ask you, I mean, we look around the league, AJ Brown, that whole rumor is continuing to go. Adam Schefter shot down the verbal agreement rumor with the Patriots and the Eagles and whatever. Do you think it's going to happen? Because I think Vrabel's going to put all his eggs in that basket. And if it doesn't end up falling his way, this offseason could be looked at in a completely different way.
Yeah. I do. I do think it's going to happen. I was kind of saying, oh, no chance it happens, during the course of the season into the postseason. But since that, since his 3 drops against San Francisco in I think it was the division round, I want to say.
Yes.
I just think it's more of a possibility every week. I think you look at him and he's a Super Bowl champion with the Eagles, but he was great on Tennessee. He was young, he was fast, he was a deep threat. So I think he respects Vrabel, and I think he knows that Vrabel kind of made him the AJ Brown he is today. And I think him reuniting with Coach Vrabel is something that he would love to do.
Yeah. I think it's more possibly happening, like we said, probably not until June, just because of the whole salary thing. I think there still are a couple of pivots available if they don't get Brown, but there's only really a couple things they could do. So, like you said, if they don't kind of really get a better wide receiver, and then say they just decide to just bring back Diggs on a smaller contract, the fans are not going to look happy upon that, because it's like, what's the point of doing all this stuff and then you just want to just
you just end up just bringing him back, right?
Yeah. So I think the only option, I mean, like I've talked about this before, obviously, like Wilson. Obviously I think the Jets would kind of hemorrhage us for an arm and a leg, but I still think he'd be worth it. He's 20. I still think he's a worth it player who hasn't played with a really good quarterback his whole career. He's 27, so he's kind of right in the middle of his prime. So that's my only other option. Jalen Waddle unfortunately got traded.
Yeah, and that's a great pickup for the Broncos. I do think that trade kind of shot up the projection for AJ Brown. Because
or Garrett Wilson.
I at the time, you get the whole Waddle thing where it's like, is he going to stay on the field? He's been on the field. He's had almost 1,000 yards with some fucking shitty ass quarterbacks. He's going to be great. I still don't believe in Bo Nix whatsoever. So, I think Bo Nix is great in crunch time, but I don't really know what that's going to be like. Another season of that. I think bringing back Diggs is a little interesting. I don't really see the problem with it, but at the same time, he's not going to produce the same that he did last year.
I'm just saying a problem as it if they make him and they don't bring in anyone else.
Yeah, 100%. I mean that's the end goal. That would be the end goal.
Jack. I think what would really be interesting, and I don't know if I haven't calculated the logistics or if he's on contract or if he's a free agent or what. I'm just throwing it out there. I feel like if we could have somehow Chris Olave on this team, it'd be pretty fun to watch. I think he's like a perfect kind of Patriot guy. I mean, he's quick. He's capable of scoring touchdowns. I mean, we've seen it, right?
Would you give him number 12?
He's been on the.
He does get a lot of concussions. He does.
Would you give him number 12?
No, I wouldn't. I don't. I think 12 should be.
No shit.
I think 12 should be like league wide retired. Why not 6 for Bill
What do
Russell?
you think? Do you think it's okay that Dobbs is taking Gronk's number?
I don't give a fuck about that. I don't really
Yeah.
give a shit.
I mean, I don't really care.
12, Karen, you don't have to. 12 doesn't.
You don't need an answer, Karen. I'll talk to Chuck about it.
12. I mean, 12 could be retired around the league. I just don't know how the Giants would feel about it. I don't know how
The Jets
the
would feel
Jets
about
would
it, the
feel
Bills,
about it.
the-
I don't know how
the whole AFC East.
I don't know how the
The
Bills would
Giants
feel
beat
about.
the Patriots twice.
Yeah, I know. I'm just
No,
saying.
or the Colts, especially
Oh,
the Colts.
fucking jeez, the Colts.
They would get. They would.
Fuck the Colts. Always fuck the Colts.
They would.
What did Gronk
They
say?
might leave the
I
NFL.
threw him out the
now.
club.
The Irsay family might just leave like the whole NFL if that were to happen. They would just like get out of there.
I threw him out the club. Right?
Crowd noise.
I love that. Get in here, partner.
Getting that crowd noise.
Get in here,
team.
partner. Yeah, KC Concepcion would be interesting at 31 if you don't get a receiver.
Yeah.
I think they hosted him on a 30-30 visit. I think he'd be a fun watch.
Yeah.
I do really like Jordan Tyson out of ASU. He's like a projected top 10 pick, but because of the injuries, he might fall.
Maybe. I just don't know if he'll fall that far.
Is that someone you trade up for? Maybe. I mean, I don't know, but
like obviously the only way we get him if they trade like you could trade up from 31 to like 22 or something like that.
yeah, maybe. Jack.
I don't want to sound biased, but I think after the season and the Ole Miss game, it's kind of, I wouldn't mind Zachariah Branch from Georgia. I think he's quick. I think he's aggressive. He's physical.
Is he a 1?
No.
So that
No. But how many rookie receivers are a 1 though?
you can bank on Jordan
There's a
Tyson
good
being.
amount that have
If
been
Jordan
drafted.
Tyson is fully healthy, you can bank on him being a receiver 1 for your team.
There are a good amount of players, especially.
I
in
think
recent years,
I think what the fuck, Branch out of Georgia and Concepcion are both fringe, like they can be 1s one day, like they're fringe, but the receivers are so hit and miss. Like you could
Exactly.
pick a guy
Like if you had AJ Brown and those two,
yeah, but I'm saying there could be 16 great receivers in the draft and 3 could hit.
yeah.
1 could hit.
Yeah.
So like that's the gamble you play. You can't play scared, unfortunately, right? And Vrabel
Yeah.
said it. He said, where do you find the best receiver talent? He said, well, in the draft. In the draft, Karen. Right?
I was gonna say Karen told him that.
Yeah.
Hey, like Amon-Ra was picked like he was like
Fuck
the 12th
Amon-Ra.
pick. What's wrong, Amon-Ra?
That fucker. Fuck him.
I like him.
No, I'm not gonna sit here and take the Amon-Ra hate.
I'm a big what's
I
that?
love Amon-Ra.
There's something about Tesla. There's something about him.
Okay.
There's something about him that I like. I don't know what it is.
Something.
Jackie's white. That's the joke.
Just a pic, like
Can we talk about how Jack has an Aaron Hernandez jersey on his wall?
I don't.
that does not say Hernandez.
It's Rodney Harrison. All right.
Signed by Rodney Harrison.
Again, there's a lot of different paths for this Patriot team.
Yeah.
I am really confident in this draft, especially after last year's draft.
The draft is
You
amazing.
know-
Mike can draft, man.
You
He can
know
draft.
damn well Mike is running the draft. Elliot Wolf has. He's got no fucking control. Wolfpack. Elliot Wolf.
Didn't
Wolfpack.
I mean, just look at some of the guys who Mike drafted though. I mean, AJ Brown, right? Was he the head coach of Tennessee when they drafted Derrick Henry?
Yeah, but he wasn't drafting though.
I don't think he was drafting. He didn't pick them.
Yeah. Anyways,
He's
I'm
bigger
talking.
If you're a
on-
head coach, you kind of have a say on who your
No, but
team's
like,
drafting.
Well,
but
that's
like-
why he
like-
left Tennessee. He didn't have a say
Yeah.
anymore.
Like he like
Right, but that's what I'm saying. I'm saying at the time he drafted Derrick Henry.
Yeah, but he's been like way more involved in
Right.
the Patriots picking than when he was picking with the Titans because he was more unproven.
I'm talking about
you-
when I talk about the team. When I talk about his draftability, I talk about last year. Like all those
Yeah.
people he drafted are starters on the team.
Yeah.
As,
Anderson.
aside from,
Campbell.
I don't know how Will Campbell's gonna. That's gonna be really.
Hey, I still believe in the kid.
That's gonna be so interesting to watch.
I still believe in him.
I believe in the kid too. It's just like You know, when you're out in the Super Bowl and you're fucking trying to block and you look like in your knees, you're not wearing fucking brace and your arms. That's
Hey, he had to play a gauntlet though. He had to play a gauntlet.
yeah, it was
the whole
but that's the NFL. Every week's a
They all
gauntlet.
did. They all
I'm just
did.
saying.
Every fucking week's a gauntlet in the NFL. What does Bill?
just saying
What did
other
Bill
tackles
say?
didn't-
What did Bill say? You're not playing fucking Florida A&M on a fucking Saturday night. You
I'm
know?
just saying it makes a
Fucking
difference.
kids at fucking
Especially when
Foxborough
his
High
knee
could have
was-
made that
Especially when
play.
he had a fucked up knee.
Yeah, he was playing on 2 fucked up knees, so I'm excited to see him healthy.
Yeah.
I will also say Jared Wilson, Jack, go Dogs, will be playing center this year, his natural position. Jack was telling me when we drafted Jared Wilson how an incredible leader he was at the center position, captain like leader. He had to
Great kid.
He had to play guard. Didn't do the best. He played okay. I think he's going to be great at center. He's going to be a guy that will be in that center position you'd hope for the next like 5-6 seasons.
Yeah.
So
Hopefully he'll do better than Bradbury, even though Bradbury was very serviceable.
yeah, he was, but I think Wilson will be better and go Dogs. I mean, you want Georgia linemen. Who remember our last Georgia center? Mr. Andrews? Right? So that's a leader. You want leaders like that.
You
Yeah.
do. You do. And it starts with the O-line. There's always that one O-lineman who's the captain, you know, who gets the offense going. And, you know, I just what day is the draft? Isn't it April 24th?
Let's see if you get it. NFL draft is on April 23rd. Right on the nose.
Hey,
Daniel.
shout out LeBron, bro. Shout out LeBron, bro. All right, April 23rd. But I'm just look before we go. Like, I just want everybody to know when they announce the picks and they show, you know, the stadium and where the coaches and everyone's drafting from, you better pay attention to that room in Gillette. And in the corner, you'll see Karen. I know you will because she'll be there.
In the war room?
She'll be there. I know Karen will be there.
Hey,
I
you don't
know
have
in
to
the world,
ask me to go, Karen. Just go.
Yeah.
Right?
You don't ask. You don't need to tell me where to park, Karen. It's the same spot every year.
I can find players better than that fucking Foxborough High School, right? That was it. Good show. Dirty Water Dogs. Red Sox play Thursday, so that means tomorrow when this video comes out, we'll have our Game 1 analysis on the Red Sox on Friday. That comes out, or well, we won't because we're shooting on Wednesday. We won't have that, but we will talk a little bit more. We might shoot Thursday if that works out that way. We'll see.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, 38 and counting, episode 15 of season 3. Dirty Water Dogs, Declan Hickey to my left, Jackal to my right. If you're listening to us on Spotify, thank you so much for tuning in and listening. We'll see you next time.
Peace.
Yes.